Welcome back to the 27th Irish Open by Seismic. We're straight into game one. And on your featured pair in front of you, Selwyn Morgan, Fabiana Peters, Tor Danielson and Kira Ray. New players to the tournament include Steve Kay, Jordan Nutt, Tanya Yousaf, John Chu, Matt Forsyth, Bianca Wickedad, and a host of other players on the lanes for the first time. We're going to stay with the featured pair for a little bit. Kira Ray opened up with a 8-split 1. Oh, a nice messenger there though for the first strike. We will actually be having a guest coming in for game 3. We've got Seismic Sean Friendly, going to join us. We'll have a little chat about his career and the Seismic brand, and that'll coincide with one of the Seismic staffers being on the lanes in front of us, Alan Smith from Texas. So looking forward to that. Round about game 3, so about 40 minutes time. Might be a bit longer. Yeah, probably about 40 minutes to an hour. Welcome back to everybody on the chat. And if you haven't joined us on the chat room yet, please come in, say hello, let us know where you're from. Who do you think's going to win? Who do you want to win? So your featured pair, Tor Danielson opens up with a strike, spare and a 5-split. Oh, misses all of them. Selwyn Morgan with a 7-2 spare strike. Fabiana Peters with a couple of spares, and she's just going to go for another spare. And Kira Ray with the 8-split strike. Kira, one of the most successful juniors in England ever. She's tied with Hayley White, now Hayley Russell, as the most medals in EYCs. 8 medals, 3 gold, 4 silver and a bronze in just 2 championships. And just a little bit high, but she trips out the pin. Has a bit of a dance. So scores on the doors after all the squads leading up to this point. Christopher Sloan is still leading with 15-17, but tied at the top now with Glenn Morton Pedersen from Norway. Glenn in the previous squad bowled games of 290, 287, 290, 289, 218, 255, 228 and 237. Sloan's run of games were 255, 279, 246, 244, 246, 247. In third place, Amanda Larkin from Ireland with 1449. In fourth, Alan McDonnell with 1411. And tied for fifth and sixth, basically, Paddy Dunn and Cal Doherty with 1406. Tied games means the highest last game takes preference, which put Chris still in the lead and Cal Doherty just behind Paddy Dunn. So I get a feeling though over the last couple of squads we're getting close to a perfect game. There's a few players come close now. And it's one of them where you'll see one and then all of a sudden 3 more buses will come. a Selwyn after his open frame and spare. Comes back with a double. Kira just had another spare there. Looking further afield, Chris Boyd opens up with an open frame and 3 in a row. Keith Reinhardt opens up with front 3. And looks like Alan Smith has opened up with front 4. Expecting Alan Smith to do quite well in this squad. He was throwing some awesome shots yesterday and just couldn't seem to trip out the 7-pin. But he did start brightly yesterday as well, so he's going to have to watch the transition round about games 3 and 4. A few players have been comfortable for 2 games, kind of stuck with the same ball, and then some of them have stuck with it a little bit too long. Some of them have changed and gone on to better things. But looking like a strong female division this year. A lot of young starlets coming through. Kira Ray, as we've just seen there, with a strike on 10. On the pair next to her, there's Tanya Yusuf, who just missed out on a World Championship medal last year. Finishing 4th, I think, in the all events. Probably Scotland's highest placing in World Championships of any division. It'll be interesting to see how Kira responds to the high scores that Amanda Larkin has been showing. She's another young Irish starlet. We've got one from Ireland, one from England and one from Scotland. But then we've also got Lisa John, former winner of this tournament. Danny Hopcroft, also here. And welcome back to Simon.
Yeah.
Well, the previous squad, so we didn't see much of him. How is your feelings about the lanes?
Tough. Really tough, yeah. You have to watch the transition a lot. But you got a lot of stone lines, stands, a lot of single pins.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair though, you do lash the ball quite a lot, so you do come in at funny angles sometimes.
Yeah.
Like big angles.
Yeah. I was playing really tight in the pocket today and not missed many balls wide.
Yeah.
On lane 17 and 18, started with 8 spare, 5 in a row, stone hard 9.
I love a stone 9, they're nice. They're funny. So Kira looking for a double in frame 6. A little girl, but she gets a lot of messengers.
Yeah. She has a lot of power in the ball.
Yeah, she does. The Barnsley Basher. I would say she's one for the future, but she's one right now, really. When you've got 8 European Championships medals, you've got something there. She's looking for her first major, though. And hopefully, for her, it'll be the Irish Open.
European Tour title.
Yeah, she's one of them that, like a lot of young players, it's hard to be able to afford to do it, even when you're good enough to make money out of it. You still got to have the...
Yeah, there are a lot of good players out there this time.
Yeah.
A lot of Europe is gonna beat America really soon. Yeah. There are a lot of good European players now. The youth is incredibly strong.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot coming back from the States soon. Diana Zavjalova has finished her American studies, but she's staying out there and winner of Queens already. And then we've got a few Verity Crawleys out there. And there's quite a few other European females. Daria Pajak from Poland. Kira just comes up a little bit light there. Have you got anyone in the Netherlands at the moment that's kind of bubbling under at 14, 15-year-old that looks like they're going to be really good?
No, not.
What you're saying is you don't really check out the 15-year-olds.
Yeah, they started the youth program again, and it's looking good now. I'm really busy with it.
Yeah, I remember the Dutch when I was growing up. The men's team was so strong, but there wasn't many women about at that time. And then the opposite happened. The women were just dominant for a while, and the men went quiet. But you've got quite like we were speaking about Ramon Hilfering coming through, and there's Jord Van Weeren, and also Patrick Mika. Quite a few young ones coming through now. I think we've got the same problem in England a little bit. We've got some talented young men players, but it's the females that usually pick up the medals.
Now we have the 21 and 28th of February. We have to be at the Dutch team trials.
All right.
So 33 players are invited for that.
Yeah, I quite like your Dutch trials, though. I get a lot of information sent over. And
2 parents on one day, 6 games each. 24 games in 2 days.
Marcel's still one of the coaches? Marcel van der Bosch?
No.
No?
He quit.
Oh, he quit. Elko should be your national manager.
Yeah.
Everybody would like him.
He's in the Dutch Federation now.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'd make Elko the president.
Yeah.
So coming up to the end of the first game, quite a brisk pace on the featured pair. Selwyn Morgan from England, 146 in the 7th with a spare in the 8th. Fabiana Peters with 92 in the 6th. Got a strike and a split to add on. Tora Danielson with 116 in the 7th. And Kira with 132 in the 7th after an open frame, but comes back with a strike in the 8th. Kira can strike out for a 190, 222.
Yeah. We have on lanes 11 and 12 here with Jordan Nutt with on 290 pace at the moment. Started with an 8 spare and 5 bagger.
And on the opposite side, Stephen Kay with a spare strike spare and then a turkey. That guy can play actually though, watch out for Stephen Kay. Somebody else with a run of strikes down there. Is it Mark Kerr, I think, from Scotland?
That looks like it.
Looks like he's got 5 on the bounce. And Alan Smith also looks like he's on a 279 pace. 4 bagger spare turkey. A couple of little stats about Kira Ray. As I said, she's got 8 EYC medals, 3 gold, 4 silver, 1 bronze, and they were won in 2013 and 2013, 2014. Kira won the girls singles gold with 13.59 and the all events gold. And she also picked up a bronze with Hannah Frost in the doubles.
And a silver with the team? Yeah, and a silver with the teams.
Silver with the team, yeah. And then the following year, she doubled silver with Emily Allen. Girls team silver with Rebecca Daly, Emily Allen and Francesca Pluis. And then she took the girls singles silver and all events gold. So EYC medals over all the championships since they started. England have 91 medals. They've had 28 gold, 33 silver and 30 bronze, which is quite a record haul of medals over that time. It's probably not a patch on the Swedes and the Finns, like, but 91 medals is not bad. So just coming up to the end of this first game, Selwyn Morgan finishes with the 191. Tara Danielson is going to finish with 182 if he strikes. And looking further afield, Steve Kay adds another one for 5 in a row now. Who's that? One of your guys down there? Dutchie, is it? Eric Van
Sabben.
Is he a Dutchie?
Yep.
Everybody with Van is a Dutchin. Unless they're South African, of course, but pretty much Dutch. Oh, go on, Kira. I like Kira, though. She kind of wears her heart on her sleeve, and a strike's a strike, and she lets people know she enjoyed it. So another one for Kira. Striking in 8, 9, and the first in the 10th. She's had 2 opens in this game, so she's going to be disappointed. But she can still turn it into a 222. Another one. So Kira's in the 220s, game 1. I know Kira as well, she knows she's on television, so she didn't want to have a bad game and show herself up.
You can already see what I experienced in my last squad, a lot of single pins.
Kind of what you get with a carry fest sometimes.
Yep.
You hit the pocket a lot and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a strike. Yeah, changes ball on the last ball. Just
that's a better reaction than the last one.
Yeah, it was a better reaction. I like that with some players though. You've got a good game. That last shot you need to be testing. There's no point shooting a strike. You just want to be looking at what you can do with it.
You know what kind of ball you're going to choose. So yeah, the line, you know. Mostly you get 8, 9, sometimes strike.
Yeah. The one thing Kira's going to learn, like a lot of them, is the walk into the next lane or the next pair of lanes just to see who you're following, where they're playing, how that's going to affect you. I saw Brian Voss doing it a lot yesterday.
Yeah, I was doing it myself today. Watching, okay, he's playing there, he's playing there. Yeah, okay.
Didn't help you though, did it?
Yeah,
so
I played really well, but I didn't get carry.
You didn't get the numbers.
Yeah, I had missed 3, 4 single pins in 6 games. That's nothing. 3 splits. Just
they kill you, the splits.
Yeah.
You only need like 4 of them in a block of 6 games, and you've probably lost a lot of pins.
Yeah, now it's 3 of them in a row.
Yeah.
First game.
That just destroys you.
158.
You often get like a few splits in a row and then you throw that good shot, you're like, that's 10 pin.
Yeah.
Then you throw the next one and it carries. Then you throw another one that you think, oh, that's awesome, 10 pin.
Yeah. Or 9, even worse.
Or stone 9, yeah. So a good first game for Kira, so we'll just take a short break. Go off to one of our sponsors. Adverts, and we'll be back in a moment.
I'm so happy to see you.
Seismic fans, we are now introducing the latest addition to the Tournament Special Edition line, the Euphoric TSE. The The Euphoric TSE features the Overb core technology and the very durable and versatile Tournament Special Edition cover stock. The Euphoric TSE is polished with a radius of gyration of 2.55 and a differential of 0.055, creating 4 to 5 inches of flare potential. This is the 4th addition to the TSE line. This cover stock is proven to provide predictable ball motion characteristics while minimizing loss of reaction due to oil absorption, translating to higher strike percentages for longer periods. By adding this cover stock to the very successful Overb core featured in the Euphoric, we've created the combination of control of a symmetric core along with the strong continuation of the TSE cover. In a side-by-side comparison, you'll see the original Euphoric begin to start its transition to the hook phase earlier than its TSE counterpart. The TSE conserves its energy through the front and mid part of the lane, then releases its power at the breakpoint and all the way through the pins. The Euphoric TSE is the perfect benchmark ball for your typical league condition. Build your arsenal on this great ball. Control, consistency, continuation. Seismic bowling.
Welcome back. Oh, we came back a bit soon though. We're still waiting on 11 and 12 to finish up. It looks like a 247 for Steve Kay from Leeds in England. 198 for Tanya Yusuf from Inverness in Scotland. I ain't got a clue where Jordan Nutt's from. I know he's from England. And Jan Nordhaug. 166. Oh, 710 pocket.
That's for 3 of them today.
3.
Yeah.
That's
Also leave the 7 pin.
That's the thing about splits as well. It's, you hit the pocket and you leave a 710. Most of the time you've thrown a bad shot to get a 7 to get any split. But that 710 is like laughing at you. Take that, you mag.
Advantage here, those pins they are gonna go over the pin deck, so buy 7 pin.
Have you ever left a 5, 7, 10?
Yeah, in my early days.
Early days, yeah, before you started hooking it a lot.
Even then.
I threw one in a tournament once and missed the cut by 3 pins. My final shot.
Yeah, that's a pity, yeah. Now, last couple of years, none of them.
Does everybody laugh in Holland when they see one? It's kind of a universal thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Somebody is singing then, but
yeah,
it's not really appropriate for swimming. Like,
I don't know. Funny's funny.
The Dutch guys who are watching know what I'm talking about.
Right. So coming back now, we'll see who we've got on our featured pair. Heidi Thorstensen from Norway. Erik van Saban from the Netherlands. Alex Fraser from Scotland. And John Anders Jensen. That's probably a Dane. Anybody with the Jensen's usually Danish. I doubt it's Norway.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Keep your comments and chat coming in.
He's throwing only with his fingers. No fun.
All right, palming it then.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I find strange about two-handed. It's not a new shot because people have palmed it before with just the fingers in. But some of them are putting revs on with the other hand, and other ones are just basically holding it there. I don't think Jason actually puts any more revs on it with his other hand.
Maybe a little bit, but
Osku probably does.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of two-handers that are basically just holding the ball all the way through, but that right hand or left hand, depending on which you are, it's not actually doing anything to the ball. Just
they are getting so much rev from one hand with those 2 fingers.
Yeah. I love the two-handed thing. I think it's refreshed the game a lot. I don't understand these people that the haters because oh, Belmo shouldn't be doing this and Oscu, and I think it's basically a lot of people don't like Jason Belmonte for whatever reason because you don't seem to get the same thing from Oscu.
Yeah, but if you see a modern power player with one hand, they have incredibly power. And look at Sean Rush.
Yeah.
One hand.
Yeah.
Stuart Williams, Martin Larson.
Well, Stuart Williams is lazy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't even look like he puts any effort into it sometimes.
No, but he has a lot of power in his ball.
Oh, God, yeah, yeah.
And that's why a lot of people don't like two-handers, because they have so much power and they get so many messengers. It's not fun anymore.
I don't know, I think it's just the new left-handed, right-handers always hated left-handers.
Yeah, still.
And they still do, yeah.
But if you have a
they've just
two-handed lefty,
a two-handed lefty, oh, yeah.
oh, pack up your bags and go.
Yeah, you're not going to get a Christmas card, are you?
Nope.
I think we've gone as far as we can with it, though. I can't see any other. I mean, you've one hand, two hand. There's no other way of bowling. Unless two-handed comes in where you just bowl with one finger and one thumb.
Yeah.
So just at the frame 2. I'll take this chance to thank our lane sponsors this year, Mayo at Home, TGF Fridays, Rock Jewelers, Crumlin Print, Eco Hygiene, of course the headline sponsor Seismic, Cooltech Refrigeration, Dublin Food Sales, Frylight, Glenealy Foods, and Mayo and Starbucks, also Stillorgan Park Hotel and Stillorgan Orchard. Thanks to all the sponsors this week for your kind support. I mentioned in Seismic again, we've got Seismic Sean Friendly coming in game 3. We'll do a little bit of commentary together on one of his staff players, or fellow staff players, Alan Smith from the States, who will be on line and 10 in game 3. We'll learn a little bit more about the brand. Sean, you will have seen some of the videos we've been showing. Sean is the star of those videos.
Seismic Sean.
Seismic Sean, yeah. Yeah, I went up to him when we first got here and said, "Hello, Sean. I recognise you from your videos." Anything happening up the other end? A bit early to say at the moment. Kira Ray's opened up with a double in this second game, as has Stephen Kay.
Yeah, you can see some higher scores now. A lot of players are doing their second entry right now.
Yeah. It also coincides with a lot of actual talented players.
Yeah.
There's been a few squads where there's maybe only been 4 or 5 big names or names you've kind of heard of. But there's a lot of standout players in this squad. Now we're getting close to the business end of the tournament now, though. Halfway through the squads today. And we've got a few more in the morning, and then the final start in the afternoon tomorrow. And Seismic Sean's just behind us, actually. So if you had to make a prediction on what you've seen so far, Simon, who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say. We have Chris Sloan and Glenn Motor Peterson on exactly the same score. Exactly. 253, almost 253 average.
Yeah, 252, yeah.
But everything will go to 0 in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, you're chasing those top 6 for those buys into the third
Even
round.
the guy in the last spot can win.
Yeah. You just got to make that cut.
I saw somebody in Holland qualifying through Desperados and finishing second.
I think Ghislaine's done that as well. I'm sure she's done that before. Well, you see it all the time. The actual leader of a tournament in qualifying doesn't always win the event.
Nope.
I've seen quite a few players do that.
I just got it a couple of weeks ago in Emmen. I placed 6th for the finals. Yeah. Got it in bye for the first round. And didn't get a shot at all in the finals. 4 games, gone.
Yeah.
I averaged 231 in my squad. And in the finals, I had 175.
Wow.
Just couldn't get a shot, didn't hit Gary. Yeah. Bye.
That's the thing about bowling, isn't it, really? You've got to grind out a score sometimes. Other times it's easy.
Yeah, that's why some people in league average 220, 230. And when they go playing tournaments, 160, 170.
Yeah. A lot of that can be, there's no pressure in league. It's just something you do each week.
Same, and it's easier patterns,
yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, over the years you see many house pros with 240 averages.
Yeah.
The tournament comes round and, oh,
190.
It's going to, yeah. Or they go 30 miles down the road and they just can't play in that centre.
Yeah.
It's like a 1 centre wonder.
I was one of those guys, but last couple of years, nah.
Henning Wunderlich says, go Alan Smith, go. Yeah, we'll be seeing Alan in the next game, I think. Oh no, hang on. He's up there, so... No, we've got another 2 games, so it's game 4 he's coming in. Game 1, 1, 2... What are we on now? In game 2, aren't we? Game 2, game 3, game 4, we've got him on. Yeah, I thought it was game 3 we had him, it's game 4.
Do we have anyone who is starting perfect this game?
I don't think so, unless it's somebody down the bottom end. There could be somebody on a 290 pace down there. I can see a little bit of white at the edge of the screen and then nothing. So I think somebody's on a 280, 290. No, there's nobody perfect down the bottom end.
We have a couple of players who were close to the 300, but we have no 300 yet.
No. And nobody's done the front 11 yet. We've had 289.
290.
Yeah, but you're not going to get a 300 with a 290 because you've already done it at the beginning.
279, a lot of...
A few, quite a few. 268s, there's a few of those. 269s. You're one of them.
Yep.
And do you know, lane 8, that's the first mechanical fault I've seen in 3 days. It's just a pin that's flown up the gutter. Now I'm guessing that Leisureplex have not got the cages on the backs of the machines here. Because the guarding, I don't know if it's the same in Holland, the guarding is coming in on the machines where you basically can hardly get in the machine. Everything switches off the minute you open the door.
Yeah, the older machines are shut on the complete pair. That's not really... but the newer machines are already prepared for it, so
Yeah.
they already have the cage and locks and switches and.
I've been a technician myself over the years, and I find it annoying that they have to be there. I know why they're there.
Yeah.
It's because idiots have got in machines and got killed
Yeah,
because
but
they've not turned the machine off.
but
And a lot of mechanics take chances.
they have to sometimes.
Yeah.
I've been there back a lot when I was 5-6 days a week at the bowling.
I've seen some things over the years. We had one lad at Leeds, and he was a bit divvy to start with, really. Well, you know, he was a few cans short of a six-pack, and he'd gone to do a ball jam, so he's got his head against the kickback, and the strongest guy in the league's just pulled a 10-pin at like 100 mile an hour, and all we saw is this guy come flying out of the machine. He'd had his head against the thing, and I'm a bit dizzy now. There was no damage because the damage had already been done, but when looking back now, it could have been a lot worse than it was, but it was just one of the funniest things I'd ever seen at the time. We had another mechanic as well. Call came over, can you have a sweep down on lane 6? So it's taken a while to get this call, so we go around to see what's happening. And all of a sudden you see down the back of the machine this brush pushing all the pins down. So it goes, what are you doing? She said a sweep down on lane 6. Are you just go. And we're back again. Apologies for that.
Some troubles with the connection.
Yeah, the connection's not been too bad. I'd rather have problems today and tomorrow than Sunday.
Yeah, was a quick fix.
Can't be a good quick fix. So 202 for John Chu. Ooh, that rhymed. What's Kira finished with? 244?
244, yeah.
244, yeah. Off the back of a 220, so she got 60 over. 246 down there from
Steve Husmans,
right.
Belgian. They have a 208 from Heidi, for instance. How you call it?
What?
Her back last name.
Who's?
From Heidi.
Heidi Torstensen. Or Thorstensen. Alex Fraser on a run of strikes.
He's playing with him. Uproar. Seems like it.
What?
Alex.
Playing with?
An uproar, road grip uproar.
I have no idea.
It looks like it, but
I can't keep up with all the coloured balls and what's what.
no, it's no one uproar.
It actually looks like a DV8.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heidi finishes with a 208. 220 for Chris Boyd. Just a frame or so away from the end of the game. And we'll be on to game 3. Third squad of the day. One more squad to come today. little Tanya Yusuf's doing. Down on 15 and 16. Quite see the score from here. Wearing a nice pink shirt though. I need to start getting some squad winner photographs. I've been a bit lazy with the photographs so far.
And for the people who want to see the scores online, they are back up now. Till series to squad 11.
Good, good.
I think the technical problem is solved then.
Yeah, it's not a stream without some technical problems now and again though, is it?
Nope. This part of it.
It's usually always when you need it the most as well. Right, the final's just going to start. Internet connection's gone.
No sound. Yay.
Yeah, I had that in the final of the Brunswick Italia Challenge. So everything would be perfect right the way up to, well, I say perfect, it was the worst stream I'd ever done. Purely because the internet connection was like, I think we
Yeah,
were
that's the most important thing with streaming. Internet connection must be good.
Yeah, we were uploading at like 0.36 or something like that.
In the game we had even to get lower.
Yeah?
0.15 or something.
And try to stream with it.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
That's a nightmare. And even then, it will break. Yeah.
It's weird actually. A lot of bowling centres in England, you can't get a decent connection at them if you can get a connection at all. But then you come out to Europe, and a lot of places have got them. It's super fast.
We have the next stream we do is the big stream is Schiphol, Tilburg. Last year we turned down the main switch for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But they sorted out now for us, so it will be okay now. We got our separate line. Even better.
You need a separate line. It's when everybody else is on the Wi-Fi and you're all on that same connection.
They just want not to turn down the Wi-Fi because everyone is gonna leave back to the hotel. No income.
Yeah, but they sit at the back watching films.
Yeah.
Draining the
Netflix, like that kind of stuff. Even watching the stream. In the bowling.
Yeah.
Why?
You go back. What
you have a life.
It's in 3D here.
Yeah, if you have to watch like this, and you look up there, oh, strike. 30 seconds later, hey, strike.
To be fair though, some people actually listen to the commentary. I found they'll be sitting at the back, but they're actually listening to the commentary. That you're not so much watching. Well, they're watching it live, but listening to what we're saying. Yeah. So we'll take a quick short break, and we'll be back in a moment after these messages.
I'm so happy to see you.
Seismic fans, we are now introducing the latest addition to the Tournament Special Edition line, the Euphoric TSE. The Euphoric TSE features the Overb core technology and the very durable and versatile Tournament Special Edition cover stock. The Euphoric TSE is polished with a radius of gyration of 2.55 and a differential of 0.055, creating 4 to 5 inches of flare potential. This is the 4th addition to the TSE line. This cover stock is proven to provide predictable ball motion characteristics while minimizing loss of reaction due to oil absorption, translating to higher strike percentages for longer periods. By adding this cover stock to the very successful Overb core featured in the Euphoric, we've created the combination of control of a symmetric core along with the strong continuation of the TSE cover. In a side-by-side comparison, you'll see the original Euphoric begin to start its transition to the hook phase earlier than its TSE counterpart. The TSE conserves its energy through the front and mid part of the lane, then releases its power at the breakpoint and all the way through the pins. The Euphoric TSE is the perfect benchmark ball for your typical league condition. Build your arsenal on this great ball. Control, consistency, continuation. Seismic bowling. Simply devastating.
And we're back from outer space. So who have we got in front of us now? Oh, Turgeon B. Christensen, Alfonso Palestre. Oh, he's the Italian lad, isn't he? Steve Gassmans and... Oh, man. Hedge Christie Stubbsby. They do make it hard, these names. The beauty of Cypriot ones, when I used to go out there, you get Costas or something like that, at least a repeat of the name. George Georges.
But they have separate sounds from letters. A lot of strange things above them. Yeah.
The hard ones, the Lithuanians and Polish and stuff like that, I struggle with those. Keep your comments in the chat coming in. It's gone quiet on there. Hashtag Irish Open. Please spread the web address for the live stream. Hope you're enjoying it as well. I'll keep my eye open for Sean Friendly. Seismic Sean's coming on the next game for a chat. I have to pull Lisa John on as well as a past champion. So Christensen starts with a double, as does Steve Gassmans. And Alfonso and Hedgie, not so good. So into the fourth frame, and who's that with front four? Can you see the name from here? Louis? No.
Lane?
5 and 6.
5 to 6.
It's just gone on to the graphic. Alan Smith with the front three.
And
Roger.
Lindstedt?
Is it Roger?
Yeah.
Lindquist?
Lindstedt.
Lindstedt. Should have gone to Specsavers. Can't see the monitors.
Smith from 4.
So how did you get involved with the streaming then with Marco? Because I kind of, I'm the reason Marco was doing it. I taught him in Malta and he liked what he did. And how did you get involved?
He asked me in November 2013, yeah, if I want to join him to get it the next level, which are we now, with more graphics, better cam, better quality. So
How did you get the money off the association to get the equipment?
Marco all did it. I have no idea. When I joined, it was already there. So
It was already in place.
yep.
And I don't think I would get anything off my association. But then again, I haven't been a member for it for 20 years. And how much did they spend on the equipment you guys have got?
I have really no idea.
Quite a lot, isn't it? You've got a nice big dirty camera.
Yeah, that's a really big one. Yeah.
It's kind of not practical though for taking around, is it? It's these big cameras, they're awesome and everything, but
It's not that bad. You have tripod, you put it on. Done.
yeah.
Put the cables on. Put it in the
I
computer.
brought everything I had in a small carry-on and a little suitcase, so I try to stay as portable as possible. Oh, 710 pocket shot there from one of the Danes.
Alan Smith. Stone 7.
Stone 7, I've seen that a few times.
Left-handed.
I think he was 118 over after his first two.
115.
115 was it?
Yeah, a lot of bowlers come by to say what they have.
Yeah, I kind of forget. I've not got the best memory.
But it's a sign they like what we're doing, I think.
Sorry?
It's a sign that they like what we are doing.
Oh yeah, they definitely appreciate it. Well, it's kind of an extension of Facebook in a way, is the streaming, because people spread it to their people, and that's how you get your numbers. Really, people log in just to mums and dads and stuff. Usually, just want to see how people are doing. We've got a lot of messages in Malta for Ramon and Patrick, and it's kind of nice to provide that service for the family that can't get out to watch.
Yeah, my parents were watching also when I was playing. I texted them their games. Oh.
Yeah. I bet they watch just to listen to your lovely voice.
Most of the time they have the sound muted, so they got a little bit crazy because of all the pins falling down again and again and again and again. My dad's a bowler, but not like I am. And mom, yeah.
Yeah, my mum bowled a little bit on a Wednesday night in the league, but she wasn't any good.
My dad is a league bowler, and that's okay by him. And then to hear every day in and out, pins falling, nah.
No,
It's not a really good idea.
my old man's got no interest in the sport, really. I remember the first time I ever bowled when I was about 11. We went down to Leeds, and I was crying my eyes out because I just couldn't do it. I think I scored about 10 or 20 or something like that, and my dad's going on, you ain't be wasting money. So my mum took me down to the junior league because she saw I was upset by it, and that, the rest is history. Went on to bowl for England, and I'm sat here live streaming now because of it. It's funny how a trauma in your life can dictate what you do for the rest of it.
When I started bowling, we went to a hotel in Germany and there was a bowling alley in the hotel. And my father had his own bowling ball. I thought, why? But when we came back, I thought, let's give it a try. And first ball I ever threw at league, strike.
Yeah?
Yeah. Everyone was watching like, huh?
Bit of natural talent.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a beauty of the sport, really. I mean, all ages can do it, and nowadays even the little ones can bowl with two hands with the gutters, side panels, and bumpers.
From age 6, 7, yeah, they can start.
Well, younger, really. Like the Belmonte started at 4-year-old, and
Yeah.
as long as you don't even need to lift the ball now, because mum and dad put it on the ramp, and that's how a lot of the kids start. My little one doesn't bowl much, but she bowls with two hands at the moment. When she does bowl, obviously it's too heavy for her. And she's a right-hander, but bowls left-handed. And I'm looking at her thinking, oh, you could make so much money if you were a left-handed, two-handed female bowler.
Yep. You can see it right here. All left-handers have more carry than right-handers.
Yeah. And there's something about the female game where
Somehow they can play straight on, where all the gents have to move in, and
there's a lot more fellas bowl as well, so the numbers are smaller in the pool of women.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're any less talented.
Now with many tournaments there are bonus points for women, but sometimes I think, why do you need them? Mostly 5 pins a game.
Yeah, there's certain tournaments where the women dominate and they've got that extra 8 pins or whatever, but
Yeah.
a lot of the times when you look at the general averages of women at the top and stuff, I've lost my train of thought now. Thanks, Charles. I was talking about someone then. I completely lost my train. It's gone.
Simon don't know what he's saying anyway. Simon's got to translate your language into English and then from English to Dutch.
Yeah.
He ain't got a clue what you're saying anyway.
He keeps nodding and smiling.
Bring back Landman, bring back Marco. Marco and Machine.
Scott Walmsley on a 279, down on 11 and 12. Started with a double, spare and 4-bagger. Looks like he's the pick of the players on the lanes. I've gone a little bit quiet on the chat. Come on, just come and say hello. Of all the players you've seen and on the list of scores, who do you think's going to win? And who would you like to win? Looks like the numbers are going up on the stream now. People finishing work. And America's online now, so the one or two tuning in to see how Alan's doing. Another 279 down there for Alan Smith. 4-bagger, spare, double. That'll put him nearly 90 over. 190 over.
190.
Yeah, 190 over. Hey, he's
He's
flying.
good in 94 if he strikes out. 194 in 3.
Yeah,
That's
he's
7-4.
flying, isn't it?
794 in 3 games.
And he
That's
comes,
even higher than Chris.
yeah,
Chris shot 780.
Chris.
Christopher Sloan.
Ah, but we also had a 797 earlier by Pedersen over his first three.
Yeah, he started with 290 to 89.
That's PlayStation scores. So your featured pair, Terje Christensen, is the pick of the players on 165 in the 8th with a spare in the 9th. But Steve Gassman's going well, 157 in the 7th with a strike and a possible 9 spare to follow. Danny Hopkoff bowling a decent game. She's going to finish with a 227 if she hits another 2 strikes. Former youth international. And that might be the low game we've seen so far on lane 10.
Did you
87
hear that sound?
in the 8th.
The
Yeah.
Fergie sound? That was Selwyn.
Ah, is that what he does?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like, what's his name in Malta? Marco Spiteri, when he gets a strike and goes boom! The whole centre hears it. Yeah, it's good to have characters though in bowling.
There are always some good idiots.
Yeah, they're our idiots, aren't they?
And Ellen got the 4 strikes now, so still on 279.
Yeah.
The big guy, Elko Gordo, is in the house now.
Bushman was white.
Well, it'll come. So a frame or so away from the end of the game. Game 3. Tired. .227 then for Danny Hopcroft from England. So 205 in the end for Steve Gastman's on new featured pair. .213 for Terje Christensen. Awesome. Yeah, watching the live streaming in Germany. Big shout out to everybody out there watching it. Your man's coming up in a minute. And he's coming up buzzing. He's going to be about 190 over if he taps out here. Flying. He looked impressive yesterday, but he just couldn't carry the 7-pin. You knew he had summer. Today is a different story. He's actually flying. So we're going to get him on the stream in the next game. We're being joined by Sean Friendly as well in a moment. So what we'll do, we'll finish this game up. And then we'll go through one of the Seismic adverts starring Sean. And then Sean will be with us on the next game. So there you go, there's a surprise. A 7-pin from Alan Smith. Yeah, the first thing he said to me when I spoke to him yesterday was, he'd come a long way from Texas. He wants to bowl well. Picks up his spare. And they're going to be a 258. And a potential leader if he carries up this pace. Could well break into the top 6. So just a couple of frames to go up the top end. And we'll go off to a commercial break. And Alan finishes with a strike for 258. He's just waiting on 1 and 2 to finish up now, and 10's just finished, so the players moving around. 1 and 2 just about to finish. So we'll go off to a commercial break now, and we'll be back in a moment or two.
You're late.
Are we happy? Sean?
Yeah, we're happy.
Seismic fans, we now present the Venator. Venator comes from the Latin word meaning hunter. The Tennessee core is our most advanced core design to date. It is designed with consistency in mind. The core shape is modeled to allow for drilling with a strong pin placement at positive spin axis while reducing the amount of inner core material being removed. In turn, this reduces how much the ball's pre-drilled design specifications change after drilling. Pre-drilled, the Venator has a 35% stronger positive spin axis than our very successful horn core. The Tennessee core produces a high mass bias differential with more flare and mid-lane read than we've ever released. This video shows the Venator picking up its role in the mid lane and making a strong move to the pocket. In the true spirit of a hunter, The Venator makes its move attacking with strength and power, leaving the enemy simply devastated. Put the Venator in your hand and have no doubt. Seismic bowling. Earth-moving equipment.
So, welcome back to the 27th Irish Open, live from Leisureplex in Stillorgan, Dublin, and we're joined by Sean Friendly, Seismic Sean. Welcome, Sean.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Enjoying the show so far.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's pretty
So
amazing.
you've been on the lanes a couple of times. How have you found them
have.
so far?
They're wow. I tell you what, they're playing kind of tricky. I mean, it's not a tough pattern, not a 48-foot flat pattern, but it's you definitely got to make your shots that stay soft at the bottom of the swing. That's what I've noticed. You got to get the ball going to the front part of the lane, really front to back instead of side to side.
Yeah,
I've seen that, and you have a couple tricky pair. 17, 18 are a tricky pair. I think everybody's hit that, dropped a couple pins. So yeah.
The top two at the moment actually have been bowling a lot tighter and, like you say, with a lot more forward than side, and they're managing to push into the pins rather than
side to side. I mean, it starts off. You see a lot of people start off kind of banking it left to right, but what happens is over time you start losing your skid, and so 2-8-10 or the carry down and things like that. So I've found both times when I've tried to open the lanes up, you get a strike here and there, but as long as you keep the ball going through the front part of the lane, it really goes through the pins well.
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting for everything to start up, how did Sean Friendly get into bowling?
Well, I started with my dad, of course. Came up in a military family. My dad was Air Force, and he used to take me to different bowling alley to get me out of trouble between football season, baseball season. Let's go bowling, and then that's how I got into it and enjoyed it until I got to about.
We're back on.
We're on, yes.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong when you actually want it to be right. So get both of us in there a little bit. I'll come over a bit. So yeah, you were saying about joining Seismic.
Oh yeah, and so I was doing videos down in Houston, and I just didn't see what I wanted to see in certain videos. Well, anyway, a friend of mine connected me with. He saw what I was doing with videos. He saw the passion I had for the sport, and once he signed with Seismic, Seismic was looking to put staffers in every state.
Yeah.
And I had gone from Texas to Virginia, and he said, hey, I know a guy in Virginia that might want to be on staff. And so connected me with Ryan, put the application in, and as they say, the rest is history. So I've been with him for about 3 years now.
Yeah, he's a good guy, is Ryan.
He really is a good guy. He's come over to US twice. It's been great. And they love him in Virginia. So.
Do they understand him?
Yes.
Just.
Yes, they do. They do. They do. The first year he was kind of timid, but now he's basically a Virginian.
Yeah?
Yeah, they've adopted him.
Excellent.
He's always welcome to come over and hang out with us.
So how many staff players have you got?
At the time, we probably got upwards of 20.
20?
20. Some are, pro shop owners, more than they are bowlers. They move a lot of equipment through their pro shop. But some of the guys, like myself and Alan and other guys, are not really. We don't own a pro shop. We just really show off the equipment as best we can in leagues and tournaments and things like that. That's what we want to do.
That's what you look for in staff players, though, isn't it? There's those that hit the scores, but there's those that can promote the brand.
That's the important thing.
And
that's the most important thing.
It's all about selling balls at the end of the day.
Yeah, these guys are. I call them shirt wearers. I mean, we don't need shirt wearers. We really need people to understand bowling and the concepts that behind the Seismic brand.
Yeah,
and be able to promote that and get along with people.
Yeah, you've got to buy into the whole project, haven't you? Really,
you do.
You've got to feel it more than just use it effectively.
Right.
So how many 300s have you had?
I've had 18.
18.
300, yeah, 18 300.
And your high set?
High set's 80, 809, I think.
80.
Yeah, 809 is high set so far. But I tell you, the good thing is they've all been with Seismic. So I've had tons of 790s, but once I switched over to Seismic, I started getting those 800s.
Have you had much input in the development of the equipment?
Lately, we have been. I mean, those of us that are considered gold level staff and compete with them a lot, we are understanding how the arsenal, the variety in the arsenal. When we understand where there's gaps in the arsenal or things that we can use in the arsenal, different contentions, we let Narayan know, and he's very receptive to what we're experiencing out there.
Yeah. So Alan at the moment with a spare strike spare.
tapped us now.
There you go, a little bit louder now. So your first trip over to Europe or in this capacity?
It is. On the way back from Iraq, we landed here in Dublin at the airport. We stayed inside the airport and looked out. We couldn't go there, but yeah, I was. It's my first time over here in Europe.
You've enjoyed it?
It's been great. I mean, I can't say enough about just how nice and welcoming the people of Ireland and Northern Ireland have been. It's really been nice.
I'm kind of loving the Americans over here, though. You know, it's nice to have you over.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
It'd be good to get you on the finals, actually, because everybody loves an American voice on streaming, usually.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I spent some time, about 3 days in Belfast with Ryan. I went to bowl a league with him in his in Dundonald Lanes in Belfast, and so we had fun up there. We had a really good time, good people.
Have you seen much of the island? Some of the.
Well, I saw the sights. I've seen the Titanic memorial.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was nice. I saw Guinness Factory. You got to do that when you come.
Yeah, I saw the photograph of the Guinness. Yeah,
Guinness Factory, which was amazing, to be honest. I mean, lots of science and lots of history with that factory. I think it really, from the rest of the world's point of view, that's one of the things that Dublin's known for.
Oh, it's one of the major export, isn't it, really? It's the thing that people know about the country. And England? Have you not been to England yet?
No, not been to England. I landed there on the way here. That's all done.
That's it, yeah. Oh, you'll have to come sometime.
Yeah, I'll have to visit. For some reason, the Army had me going to Asia a lot, so I did a lot of Korea. Again, I love Korea. I loved it. I tried to come to Europe just to get some variety, but we went to Asia 3 times. I went to high school in Japan. So
wow,
know a
so
lot about
you
Asia.
are much travelled.
Yeah.
And family life at home? Married?
Great.
Married kids?
Married. I got 3 daughters, 3 awesome daughters,
Oh,
18,
cool.
15, and 8. I just got to push through that one. And then I got my wife, my awesome wife Yolanda. She's retired also. She did 22 years
Really?
in the Army also.
All
We
right.
met in the Army. We met in Korea.
Yeah.
And,
It's proper service family then.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Tough on the family, having to her deploy, me deploy, that kind of thing. But we're now at home, enjoying their career now. Volleyball player and a singer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And where are you next? You back to the States? Texas you live?
No, I'm in D.C.
Oh,
I'm in
DC,
D.C. I retired in D.C. Yep, I sure. Come on, get 2 of those. There you go. Yeah, retired in D.C. Doing just contract work, doing the same capacity I was doing when I was in the military, but now I do as a contractor.
And you was with Bowl America as well?
No, I just bowl there. I just bowl there. With Bowl
No,
America.
I mean, yeah, I looked on your Facebook page and it had you down as Bowl America or something.
Oh, no.
Worked at.
I think that's just me running tournaments
All right.
with Bowl America. I don't work at Bowl America, although they're great people, but I don't work there. I run tournaments there. I work for the government. Yeah.
And what is it about the sport you enjoy the most?
I tell you, man. I'm a scientist. I was raised as a scientist, and I really just enjoy the physics of it. It's amazing. Just all the chemistry and geometry and physics that come with bowling, and you're always trying to stay ahead of that as a bowler. So the strategy involved in bowling is what I like the most about it. I don't just pick a ball up and throw it towards the middle pin and hope something happens.
Yeah.
I try to be deliberate about understanding how angles work and that kind of thing. So that's what I love about it.
So talking about the range as it stands at the moment, which is your standout ball at the moment, your go-to ball in the range?
For my go-to ball has been the Venator Pearl.
Yeah.
That's been, the Tennessee core itself is a really good core for what my eye likes to see. And the Venator Pearl is our strongest pearl right now. The thing about it is just like the normal Seismic brand, it's very controllable on the back end. And so I got a nice, predictable, strong movement on the back end with that ball on any conditions. It's been really, really a good ball for me. I don't bowl a lot of long, flat patterns for which I wouldn't use that ball, but for the most things that I see, the Venator Pearl is the go-to ball.
And everything in your arsenal at the moment is kind of fits nicely. There's no gaps.
It does. We don't have any skid flip balls. We just don't do it anyway. And so there's Ryan's got some tricks up his sleeve in the next couple of months for some things that are coming out in the Photon line. But right now I'm really happy.
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
You kind of got to admire Ryan as a person, though. he's a successful businessman in his own right, and with his pro shop and stuff. But then to have the balls to go and start a ball company, you know,
I'll tell you what,
being from Ireland of all places.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's got some cojones, as we say. It really is. You know, you come over here and you see this is just you know, he's just a hometown guy.
Yeah.
You know, you think this is some lofty individual that's, you know, it's got a ton of money behind him and a huge office space. This is just a guy, you know, a bowler's bowler. That's what I like about him. He's
Yeah.
you know, he's a bowler. He's one of us.
Yeah.
He's on the lanes grinding like we're grinding, and so when we think there's a hole in the arsenal, he's been thinking about it. So that's a good thing about having an owner like that.
Yeah, it's funny. The first I got to know Ryan over the last few years was when I started Talk 10 Pin, and I noticed he was doing a lot of videos of trick shots and stuff, which I've seen you've started putting him in your videos a little bit now.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite trick shot? Have you got a really good one?
I don't have a trick shot.
No?
I don't. I just, what I like to do, one of my trick shots is I like to play as much as I can try to do it. Play the one board. Just throw a ball right up the one board as far as it goes and to get it to come off the one board. I have elbow in the next session, but I have a lot of forward roll, and when I can do it right, I can play the one board, and right at the end of the pattern, the ball just goes dead left at the end of the pattern. So I don't have a lot of side roll. I like to be up the back of the ball.
That's an interesting little challenge, though. You can maybe think about if you can get somebody to bowl the one board all the way to the bottom and actually get to the bottom, they win a prize.
Right. That's right. That would be good.
And PBA Tour. I noticed 900 Global are back on the tour this year. And is there any movement with Seismic maybe going that way in the future? I know it costs money and stuff.
Yeah. I don't personally.
Are you going for a staff player that's that kind of level?
We always get that question. Obviously, a lot of the young, up and coming, as they say. But I mean, Seismic's not young, but Seismic is definitely up and coming. Ball companies are always asked that question by, our bowlers in the bowling alleys. When are you going to go PBA? I don't see it happening personally, but Ryan may have another trick up his sleeve about that. It would be nice so we can deal with that and not have a limitation. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't want it to cost you. It's like you don't ever want it to break you or anything.
Yeah.
You don't chase the dream if the dream doesn't need chasing. Then.
Right. One thing good about us is we're able to be there in the bowling alley with people. So if somebody buys a Seismic ball for any one of our staffers, it's a guy they know.
Yeah.
It's not this huge marketing. It's a guy they know. So I don't know. I obviously want to see Seismic grow. Obviously. If it goes that way, it'd be great.
Like I say, it's awesome to have a British-born company in the ball world. They're all American generally, and it's nice to have one from Europe.
And they're the brainchild is European, but as everybody knows, they're made in San Antonio. So these balls are made right there in Texas.
It's everybody's brand, really. It might have been born over here, but it's been taken and loved by the Americans now. And it's been impressive what he's done over the last 18 months, 2 years.
Yes, it's been a whirlwind. So it's been great.
But it's exciting.
It is.
You enjoy it.
It is. You see Brian Voss, some great bowlers using our stuff, and a lot of balls here on the lanes. So people don't.
I think it's like you say, it's just getting it out there. It's just things like this, showing the equipment. Oh, I didn't know Seismic bed. I wonder what the balls are like. I'll try one, and then they find that they're comfortable with it, and it suits their style. So back on to Alan at the moment, struggling a little bit in this one.
Yeah, he's seeing what we've all been seeing. It's that little push. He switched to the Venator on lane 10 last frame and got a split. But although we had a good look with it, though, I think he might want to go back to that. Just try that again.
It looked impressive yesterday. Just couldn't carry the corner pins. And
yeah, he might have to. And I think you'll probably see him do that. Soften his hand a little bit and get around the ball a little bit, get to tilt the corner, and not have to deal with these that carry down. That's what he's experiencing.
Yeah.
Alan's a great player. He'll figure it out.
And what's happening in the future for Seismic? Have you got any little exclusives for us or anything?
Well, like I said, I think there's going to be a variation on the Venator. I mean, on the Photon line coming out pretty soon. I think we'll see that. We just discontinued a lot of the TSEs, and so something in the solid area. I think we'll see something coming out in that space. And then, of course, the hybrid. I mean, our Dominion hybrid's done very well. Still got a lot of those left. And so he may do some kind of a hybrid, too.
And something I ask all the brand reps and stuff that come on a stream with me is, how do you come up with the names for a bowling ball?
That's funny. So, and I thought, with Seismic, I first joined Seismic, I thought, well, maybe it's ideas about behind the science of earthquakes. That's what I thought it was. And then I heard Photon and Venator, and I'm like, man, what is this all about? I asked Ryan the same thing. It's movies. So Ryan he's a movie buff. Him and his fiance Christina love movies, and so he shops the idea of the name with the gold level staffers, but they're always movies. And so if you think about that, listen to the name with the balls. And some of the movies I've never heard of, but some of them I have. So Photon is from the Photon in Star Trek.
Right. So where does the Venator come from?
The Venator, apparently there's a movie out there with Venator meaning hunter. And it's some kind of obscure movie that he's watched. But I think it's the. I think I asked him this question before. I think it's one of the ships in Star Trek or Star Wars or something like that. So.
I think he told me. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he did explain it to me. And it's a funny name, but it's quite a strong name in its own right. It's not a word that you would have ever heard of until you know that the Venator balls. Like, what's Venator? What's that?
Yeah. I thought it was cool when I looked it up and found out what it meant. I thought it was really cool.
So he's a psychological ball man. He's
a
playing.
warrior.
He's playing a game with people.
There he goes. Okay, Alan, get out of that. Okay, Alan picked up. That's the Venator he just threw.
Yeah.
He's got the right ball. He's got to give it some room.
Bit more room, yeah.
Yeah, so give him more room. That's all you got to do.
And when do you go back to the States?
I go back on Monday, early in the morning. We're gonna leave at 7:45 out of Belfast.
I'll probably see you at the airport then. I'm up there. I fly at 8.
Oh yeah. Are you going back to? You're in UK?
Yeah, UK, Leeds, England.
Leeds, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just near York in England.
Yeah.
Picks up his spare. Okay, so he's dropped off the pace in this game, but he's got enough behind him to still challenge for the top 10 places.
He can. He'll probably go even this game, hopefully. I know a lot of his mates are online watching him. They've got a big screen TV there in Germany.
Yeah, I've just seen a photograph of it in Germany.
Yeah.
Henning. We've got some more chat coming in yet. Have you got any questions for Seismic Sean while he's here? Please send them in. And have you got any ideas for a ball name? Have you ever thought of, if I could name a ball, I would call it this?
Well, we were talking the other day about one, and there's a ball, a name Vanquish. I love that name for a ball. There may have been one out there before, and I hope that me saying this doesn't give somebody else the idea of making the ball. But the ball, the Vanquish, the Venator, like you said, it sounded really strong. It's a strong name.
Yeah.
And so I thought, man, the Vanquish would be a nice, strong name, but I'm not sure there's a movie with the word Vanquish in it.
There will be somewhere. Yeah, it's been mentioned somewhere.
Yeah.
That's Storm just taking notes now. Vanquish.
Yeah, exactly. Though.
Let's give them some good ones then. I thought the Navigator.
Oh yeah, the Navigator.
You got the Circumnavigator, and you could throw a few others in, and it does navigate to the pins.
It does navigate. Yeah, there you go.
There's a bowling team in Cyprus called the Navigators. That's kind of where I got the idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, you won't get away with it. But the Jedi and
the
things
Jedi,
like
yeah. You couldn't do that. I mean, the idea of using the science of it, he can still kind of go with that. Because in the States we always talk about earth moving equipment, so it's always this idea that when the seismic hits the pins explode, the earthquake shakes. So we thought names were surrounding the idea of an earthquake.
Yeah.
So anyway, well maybe we'll come up with something like that.
I've got one for you. Them earth moving equipment, call it the digger.
The digger.
The digger. It digs out the pins.
Yeah. I like it. The digger. That would be good. That would be cool.
So just coming up to the end of this game.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to have you on, Sean, and hopefully we're going to get you on maybe tomorrow or the finals day. Hopefully we'll have some of your staff players in the late stages of the talk. Yeah. Hopefully you'll be in there.
Yeah.
We won't get a chance to talk to you.
Yeah.
Maybe as champion.
As champion, there you go. I'll talk at the champion time. I'm after this. I got one more squad after this squad.
Are you playing the next one?
Yeah, I'm going to play the next one. I just punched up another ball. I punched up a TSE, a Raging Bull TSE, and I'm going to get out there and kind of see how it faces up and plays. Yeah.
So how many balls do you have in your arsenal generally?
I generally like to keep, I want to keep all of them, but of course I want to kind of get the balls out there into the community too. But I have about, now I have about 10 in my arsenal. that I kind of carry with me, depending on the what I see. Right now, I'm throwing the Euphoric, throwing the Venator Pearl. Wow, he got that one out.
Yeah, tripped that one out.
He tripped that one out, and then I got the and then the TSE. I just punched up. We'll see how that works. The Euphoric has been great on this pattern. It's been a great ball. I shined it up. Oh, it's been great.
Another question I like to ask the ball reps. When you do the videos, it's strike, 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 strike. It's like these balls don't leave 10 pins on the
Tell you what, no, I tell you what, without any question, we do not cut the videos. I do every one of those strikes is live.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure
everyone is live.
I'm sure it's not computer generated.
It's amazing how these balls are. I can just let them go and they strike. Come on, Alan. Good. That's a good shot.
Yeah, it's a good salvage for a potentially bad
firmed
game.
up the front. He firmed the ball up. Let's do it harder.
I noticed with him as well, he's actually really smooth. That you don't hear a lot of the ball hitting the lane.
He is. He's very smooth. Very versatile, very smooth. You'll see, Allen adjusts his wrist positions. He's just a master of the game. And to be honest, he learned it from his mom.
Yeah.
His mom and his brothers, they're in the record books as the USBC record books. A mother and 2 sons, all 3 with 800 games.
Really?
Yeah. From I think they're from League City, Texas.
That's awesome.
Near Houston. So here.
How old is he? Because he looks quite young.
I think Allen's like 35 or so.
Is he 35?
35. There you go, Allen. All right, you stay plus.
Still looks like he's 26, 27.
Yeah, that's the Army does to you. Obviously, to me, I was in a different Army than he was in. But yeah, he salvaged the M+ on this one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Sean.
Sir, thank you very much.
And we'll let you have a break, and we'll hope you get you again.
All right, yeah, Dominic, I appreciate it, man.
Cheers, man.
Hey,
Thanks for
care.
being here.
All right.
There you go, Seismic Sean. And we're just coming up to the end of the squad now. So we'll get, if you check out the website in about 10-15 minutes, you'll get the scores. And we'll be back at 8:15, I think, was the next squad. No, it can't be 8:15. That's like ages away. Oh, no, because we've got another game yet, haven't we? What am I on about? Yeah, that was game 5, so we've got game 6 to come. That kind of makes more sense. So hope you enjoyed having Seismic Sean in. We will talk to him again later in the tournament. And we'll try and get somebody else to come in and do some commentary before long. Not quite sure who we've got on next on the featured pair. Ah, look, you left that one on, yeah. .253 down there. Who was that? Steve K? Stephen K, yeah. So he might be flying a little bit. He opened up with a 240 earlier on. Steve K, yeah. Oh, he's coming on next. So I'll get a look at... Now we're going to get a look at little Tanya as well from Scotland. Tanya Youssef. So while we're waiting for everything to happen, we'll just go off and say hello to one of the... I'll go with a Venator this time. So here's a message from our sponsors.
Hey Seismic fans, Seismic Sean here again to introduce you to the latest member of our lineup, the Venator Pearl. The Venator Pearl features a polished pearl reactive cover, emerald and gold in color, and that Tennessee core that you come to know and love.
This layout gives me clean through the front and the mid part of the lane and gives me a strong accelerated arcing motion on the back end. Let's take a look at this ball motion. Clean through the fronts and mids, aggressive on the back end, and devastating to the pits. In a side-by-side comparison, you can see the Venator Pearl allows me to make my move and get further down the lane before unleashing that aggressive back-end reaction from the Tennessee core. The Pearl cover provides more options when the lanes go through transitions, allowing me to play more angles to the pocket. Simply put, the lanes are no match for the Venator Pearl.
I hope we got the interview. We did.
Yeah.
We had sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Beaker saying, please turn the volume of the sound with the interview.
You did get the interview, yeah.
Oh, Patrick had 1263 over 5. Good work. There's starfish on the Sloan Ranger.
You know how Patrick got the alias the starfish? You know how we get it? We were at the pool in Malta.
Oh, when he jumps in the pool,
Like
starfish, yeah.
starfishes.
Yeah, I remember it now. I saw the video of it.
Patrick of SpongeBob.
Starfish. You crazy Dutchies. Yeah, we had some problems with the interview. Then I think it cut out, and we'll have Seismic Sean on again. He was nice. He said he was nervous. Not as nervous as I was.
You get used to it.
Yeah. I've interviewed Chris Barnes loads of times, and every time I interview him, I get, the jitters. And I said to him, Chris, I know you. I've known you for ages, but there's something about interviewing him that just makes me nervous about it all. You don't want to come across as the person you are, dumb. So we had a problem on 9 and 10. Seemed to be they're only on the 3rd frame, and everyone else is on the 6th and 7th. And I think we can turn that round slightly now anyway. So young Tanya Youssef from Scotland starts with a strike, 9 spare strike. Jordan Nutt from England with a strike, spare spare. Steve Kay with a couple of spares, and Jan Nordhaug with 46 in the 3rd. John Bang Olsen with a strike, spare 4-bagger. And I'm not really sure who's the squad leader, really. Kira Ray looks to be going well on 7 and 8 with a double, 2 spares, and then Turkey. I'm sure it'll all become apparent in the scores at the end of the squad. Yeah, I want to see if I can get somebody to come on and do a bit of commentary and give us a break in the next squad. I've done 3 squads now, and it's beginning to grind on me a little bit. Kind of need a break.
I joined you the first squad after.
Sorry?
I joined you the first squad after a couple of games, I think.
Yeah.
Then I have to bowl myself.
Don't worry about that. You weren't here to sit here for how many hours will it be? 3 hours in a squad, 6. 12 hours worth of talking. It's a lot in it. I'll see if I can grab somebody to do a bit of double commentary. Not seen much of. I know Jason was working today.
He said to me he wants to help on Saturday, Sunday if he was off.
Yeah.
Last night. I don't think he remember anything of that.
No, I don't think anybody remembers anything from last night.
I do.
You did?
Yeah.
You didn't get drunk then?
Nope.
I was going to come over when we finished, but I was just shattered, and I thought, he'll know I've gone straight to bed. I thought if I go over there, I'll get caught and have a drink, Dom, have a drink, have another drink. No, I've got to be up at crack of dawn. I'm working for 3 days, then I can let my hair down. Yeah, and come finals, I think, Simon, what we might do is get a couple of guest commentators to commentate commentate on the actual final, and then you and I can do technical either side. I can man a camera, or you do the pushing the buttons, and we'll try and put on a bit of a show for you all. So Tanya on strike, spare, double. Little pocket rocket from Scotland, wearing pink. What are you on? 135 over. 135 over. Steve K, 135 over. So have a look at Tanya now. Big backswing for a little one. And she fair lashes it. Nice bit of power in the shot. Comes from a bowling family, a sister bowls, and her dad owns a bowl in Inverness. And here's a story for you. Her dad actually looks like Marco Spiteri. Like brothers. You look at them side by side, they look like brothers. Yeah, picks up a spare easy enough. So yeah, everybody's going to be finished in about 10 minutes. 9 and 10 will be a little bit longer. Bang Olsen, John Bang Olsen, flying on 11 and 12. Strike spare, 6 in a row, 9. Keith Reinhardt from Ireland, working a 4-bagger. Just makes it a 5 on 11 and 12. So for anyone that's just joined us, you're watching the 27th Irish Open by Seismic, live from the Leisureplex Bowling Centre in Stillorgan, Dublin, Ireland. Just coming up to the end of the 6th game of squad 3 of the day. One more squad to come at 8:15 tonight. We'll be back in another hour for the last squad of the day. And I think tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. 12:30 squad. I don't know what I've done there. Yeah, the Desperado. Yeah, quarter to 4, and then final step starts at 5:15. Final step 1, players 49 to 80, plus 4 from the Desperado. I love a Desperado. Dead exciting.
Yeah.
I had to do the Desperado in Tilburg last year on my own with live streaming.
Oh, on your own is difficult.
Yeah, I was looking at 3 screens in front of me, switching constantly.
If you can see the scores, I mean, here one of us is going to have to be a runner.
Yeah.
You kind of got to run up and down and with a piece of paper and work
I didn't
out.
even look at the scores, but just see people throwing that ball. You had to do 45 for first 3. There were a lot of people who took 30. High through 20,
Yeah,
30, 30.
depending on the condition, you're usually quite safe with anything over 235.
Yeah.
I've seen it go down as low as 202.
Yeah, but I've seen it go up as 280.
Oh god, yeah.
I think the Desperado here will be high.
You would think, but the majority of players will already be through. That are better players.
Yeah, but it will be high.
You would think, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not so sure.
I think 250 will need to be.
Go on, we'll have a bet for a beer then. You
Okay.
say what do you say it's going to be?
251.
251 to get in.
Yeah.
Oh nah. 225.
We'll see.
4 places, remember.
Yeah.
Nah, that.
But it will be busy.
Yeah. Oh, it's a license to print money, though, isn't it? 20 euros for one game or whatever it is, and then like 100 people go on there, and it's like ka-ching.
That is, no, it's more. More than 20.
Is it is it more than 20? Is it 50 euro? Or?
50.
Is it 50 euro
Yeah.
for? No, it can't because a re-entry's. I don't know. Have a look. Tanya Yusuf adds another strike for a double on 9 and 10. And 245 for John Bang Olsen, 235 for Brett Armour. Keith Reinhardt.
Desperado, 50 euros.
Keith Reinhardt on 7 in a row, 50 euros. Wow. That's why I don't play European tournaments. I'm not paying 150 euros to enter a tournament. But people do, and people enjoy it, and a lot of them make the money back.
Great package over here. 2 entry pack for 155 euros. You can play it twice.
Yeah, that's not too bad. So how much is your first entry then? First entry is 100. Yeah, early bird 110, 100 euros on the Sunday, and goes up to 130 on the Saturday.
And I'm playing. I have my squad 11 and squad 14 tomorrow morning. So if I booked it separately, it was 250, and I'm only paying 155. So
yeah, yeah, it encourages you to play 2, doesn't it? Really. But you kind of, any tournament, you need 2 squads usually.
Yeah.
And even if you bowl a super squad and you're in, you kind of need that practice. Even if it's expensive practice, you need it. Go on, Tanya. And again. 109 in the 5th with a turkey working. Everyone else is finished now. We're just waiting on 9 and 10. Craigie Farr asking, how's John Chu doing? I don't know, actually. He's probably in the Bolans already.
No, he's playing.
No, but they're all finished.
Yeah.
This is game 6, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it? Is it game 5?
It was game 5 or 4.
Oh, everybody's staying down there, so yeah, it must be game 6 coming up. I thought it was game 6 then. Of course, we had Sean on for game 4, and we've just had game 5. So yeah, there's another game yet.
He's here.
So Chewy. Chewy, what you got? They're asking. What have you bowled? They're asking. Plus 24. Plus 24 at the moment, over 5. Craigie.
will be really quiet tonight. I think everybody is going to balance.
Oh, yeah. Craigie Farr. So just a couple of frames still to go on 9 and 10, and then we can start the final game. You're welcome, Craigie. So we're with Tanya. A big backswing, and she come through that. Dragged it a little bit, leaves the baby split.
That's around the same line I played. A little bit around to the outside, but still tight to the pocket.
Is it? It's a TV pair. You're not supposed to bowl well. Yeah, Stevie just saying the carry on the TV pair's tough. Craigie Farr's playing next squad. Oh, big 5 from Jordan.
Greek church.
Tanya looking to tap out.
Touch high.
Yeah, the last 2 shots she's not come through them very well. I think looks like she's trying to bowl a little bit more direct, but she's just not getting it to sit in the pocket yet. So Tanya needs to spare these, and strike will give her 225.
Let's look.
That
was a better shot.
Yeah, much better shot. Can carry the 10 pin, but ends with 224. No shame with a 224 on the TV pair.
Is that you, Marco?
That is Marco.
Yeah.
Hey guys, he says. Hi Marco, do you enjoy your holiday? Saw your photographs, it looked good.
Survived the flight with AirAsia.
Yeah, he's a brave man. Flying with AirAsia. You're always going to be nervous if any air company has a disaster at some point, and then you're on a flight a couple of weeks later. Still the safest way to travel.
Yeah. Some people think a little bit different after this weekend, I think. A little bit of wind.
Yeah. I suppose you had to be in it to appreciate it. I'm not a good flyer, I hate it, but it's needs must sometimes. If you don't fly, then you're never going to get anywhere.
No. And it's the fastest way
Yeah.
for large distance.
Yeah, I think it's probably just terrifying for that 3 or 4 minutes when you drop out the sky. But other than that, I wouldn't have thought you'll feel a thing. Yeah, big shot from Steve Kay. He's had a closed game, but 3 spares, double, and then 3 spares again, and then a double. Not caught a break. He's found the TV pair to be a little bit difficult. It's all about salvaging a score. If you've built up 130 over your previous games, you don't want to lose any of those.
He's missing the 5 and 9 pin. Yeah,
Yeah,
re-rake.
5 and 9, yeah.
We had a big shadow behind us.
Yeah. Big Elko.
Simon, how many games you play on a pair of lanes this year? 1.
Yeah, you play 1.
And you move 4 lanes to the right after you're finished.
I thought you missed a pair, don't you? So if you're on 5 and 6, you're then on
I started
9
on
and 10.
14, 18,
Yeah.
4, 8, 12, 16.
Yeah, so you miss a pair and then
Yeah.
go on to the next pair. You've still time to get here, Marco. If you jump on a flight now, you can be here tonight. You could play the squad tomorrow, and you could be streaming the final with me. And Simon, of course. But Simon's going to be in the final, aren't you, Simon?
Yeah. Gonna play tomorrow again, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat Chris and Glenn. Easy.
Oh, yeah, 15, 17. It's nothing.
Could be easily 16.
Yeah. I think it would have been if they'd bowled at Alsa. The way they've bowled today.
Yeah.
Marco's got to play a national 3-man competition.
Oh, yeah. I should have played, but I said to the guys, sorry, I'm gone.
Yeah, I've got free food and drink in Ireland. I don't bowl in trios. Right, so that's it. Coming on to the next game, so we'll just go off and say hello to the Seismic Venator this time, I think. Quite like this one. It's not a cool video.
You're late.
Are we happy? Sean,
Yeah, we're happy.
Seismic fans, we now present the Venator. Venator comes from the Latin word meaning hunter. The Tennessee core is our most advanced core design to date. It is designed with consistency in mind. The core shape is modeled to allow for drilling with a strong pin placement and positive spin axis while reducing the amount of inner core material being removed. In turn, this reduces how much the ball's pre-drilled design specifications change after drilling. Pre-drilled, the Venator has a 35% stronger positive spin axis than our very successful horn core. The Tennessee core produces a high mass bias differential with more flare and mid-lane read than we've ever released. This video shows the Venator picking up its role in the mid lane and making a strong move to the pocket. In the true spirit of a hunter, the Venator makes its move attacking with strength and power, leaving the enemy simply devastated. Put the Venator in your hand and have no doubt. Seismic bowling, earth-moving equipment.
And welcome back to the 27th Irish Open Championships. And we've now got John Chu, Matthew Forsyth, Chris Boyd and Bianca Wickerard. Chewy opens up with a 9 miss and a strike. Boyd with a strike, Bianca with a spare, and Forsyth with a spare. A reminder of the scores on the doors. Top 5. Chris Sloan and Glenn Morton Pedersen both bowled 15-17. But Sloan bowled a 247 and Pedersen a 237. So Sloan takes the lead on the high game rule. In third place, Amanda Larkin from Ireland with 14.49. In fourth place, Alan McDonnell with 14.11. And in fifth place, Paddy Dunn with 14.06. Also tied with Carl Doherty in sixth with 14.06. 14.04 for Paul Green in seventh. And then Kenneth Hermanson moved into 8th after that last squad with 14.02. Now, that might be a mistake then, overall. Glenn Morton Pedersen, and then we've got a Glenn Pedersen. Is that one and the same, or is there can't be two Glenn Pedersens?
Yeah.
It's the only one that repeats, isn't it, at the moment? So we're with John Chu on lane 9. And just a little bit heavy. Leaves one. And Chris Boyd picks up his spare. Chewy picks up his spare, he's enough. Eric van Sabin opens up with a front 3. Fabiana Peters with a spare double. Stephen Kay opens up with a double now, beginning to carry. Kira Ray with a double 8 spare. Bernard Bowling asking, any scores? Unfortunately, we don't get any scores other than what we can see on the lanes, Bernard, until the end of the squad. And then they go up on the website. Still using an older system here. They're not able to provide us with results after each game or anything. It's kind of hard for us to give you a top 3 in each squad. There's just no way of getting all the scores down. Oh, well, yeah, link to the scores. If you just go to tenpinbowling.ie, tenpinbowling.ie, and then just hit the link for Irish Open. Or you can also go via talktenpin.net, and you can also find the scores via badassbowling.com. So is it 90 go through?
Top 80 from general standings.
Yep.
And then the top 4 from the early birds. Then top 4 from squad 6 to 10. And 3 or 4 Desperado. 4 Desperado.
Right, so the top 80 at the moment is 199.33, 1196. So to jump in now, you're going to be needing 1200. A lot of players on 12-0s. So, yeah, you're probably going to be pretty safe at 1236 at the moment.
You have a big gap between place 60 and place 61. There's a 14-pin difference.
No, 14. 14, yeah.
14.
14
That's
pins, yeah.
Big gap.
That's not a big gap, 14 pins. But yeah, when you talk about... Yeah.
You have 1250, 1250, 251, 54, 57, 59.
Yeah, jumps a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a big jump. So I think
Yeah, so if you throw 1260, you're pretty much guaranteed. Almost. Yeah.
is somebody playing on Brunswick Hero Challenge in Munich on March.
110,000 euros total prize fund.
Yeah, that's a platinum event, I think.
Platinum, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's probably the biggest event of the year, isn't it, on the EBT?
Yeah, and you have the Bowlmaster Open, Finland.
I think, yeah.
I think those two are the biggest events on the European calendar, yeah.
Yeah, there's more money on the Euro, though, isn't there? Euro Challenge.
Yeah.
If Paul Moore can retire this year, then he doesn't need to play the rest of the year if he wins Ballmaster and the Brunswick Euro.
He won in New Game, he won the Bowlmaster.
Yeah, he's already got 13,000 euros in the bank. Yeah, what's top prize at the Ballmaster? Is that around about the same? 13 or 15,000 euros. That's crazy scoring there sometimes, though, isn't it? I remember a couple of years ago where it was just unbelievable scoring to make the cut. fact, if you didn't have a first good game, that were it. You were out.
Yeah.
Anything to report on? Is that Daniel Balsam? Does it say Daniel?
Yep.
Spare four-bagger. Kira doing okay again. Double, 8 spare, 9 spare, double. I'm not sure actually if that's Kira's first EBT. I don't think she played the English Open when it was on the EBT. So this might actually be her first European tournament. We'll have to check with her parents. Front 7 on lane 15 and 16,
I
Keith
was
Reinhardt.
watching it. She's in, yeah, still front 7.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't spin the camera down to 15 and 16 and pick up all of it. But we'll see how it goes. A few frames to go yet. A potential 300 on the cards down the bottom end of the house. Yeah, Bernard saying 1392 and last year was 1400 for the cut. Brooklyn strike then.
Messenger on a 6-pin. He's got a front 8.
Well, at the end of the game it says 12 X's up there. It doesn't tell you how you got them.
No.
I think there's probably perfectionists that want to drill every pocket ball and everything fall perfectly for the 300.
Yeah.
But
I formed them, but none of them were really perfect.
yeah, 300's 300.
It's 12 strikes, so yeah.
It's 12 strikes, end of the day. Well, it looks like down on paper.
Four more to go, and we have the first 300 game of the tournament.
We can stop that right now, though, if we put the camera on this next shot. But we'll wait right till the 11th. And then if he's going for the 12th, might just spin down with a camera and... Thing is, with these Irish players, there's quite a lot of them had 300s because they've all gone to Alta and had them. In fact, I can probably tell you exactly how many 300s Keith's had at Alta. I've got a list somewhere. Oop. There we go, the full Alta Hall of Fame.
He got a 6 free pin.
No,
No 300 this time.
He's left a 3-pin. I might. Oh, there you go. Where would I just saw him shots? I just saw it then. Oh no, I didn't. No, I don't think he has had a 300 at Alsa. else has, though. Yeah, some players with 8 300s at Alsa. 19th, Mark O'Royden, 19th 300. So coming up to the end of the last game. And on the featured pair there, Chris Boyd is going to finish with a 2-12 if he strikes out. Matt Forsyth with a 185 if he strikes out. Oh no, John Chu with a 185 if he strikes out. Matt Forsyth can make 220. And Bianca Wickerard can make 211.
Eric Versaben is went from 4, split 8-1, and if he goes up the sheet, he gets to 56 or to 66.
266, yeah.
66.
They're getting quite busy behind us now.
A lot of voters for next squad are coming in now. So just to prepare themselves and see what the lanes are doing.
Yeah. Actually, we've only got about 45 minutes to the start of the next squad. I mean,
because
that has been a bit of a delay anyway, yeah.
9 and 10.
Which is the reason why you have an hour break sometimes, just in case.
$265 for Erik van Sabben.
Yeah, good game. 212 for Chris Boyd on the featured pair, 172 for John Chu. Tyler Danielson with a 154, 168 for Selwyn Morgan. Fabiana Peters with a 189. 194 for John Anders Jensen. 236 for Daniel Bolson, if he strikes. Little Tanya Yusuf. Looks like she's going to tap out for 223. 223. Heidi Thorstensen with a 193. Alex Fraser's going to finish with a 209. Thanks again for watching this squad. As with the previous squad, the last two squads will be archived and you'll be able to watch them online later. We'll be back at 8:15 for the final squad of the day. So if you just wait about 10-15 minutes and check the official website, tenpinbowling.ie, you will get all the scores from this squad and more. So just waiting on the one lane to finish now. And it is 13 and 14. So we'll go off to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, you will have some funky, cool dance music.
I'm so happy to see you.
Seismic fans, we are now introducing the latest addition to the Tournament Special Edition line, the Euphoric TSE. The Euphoric TSE features the Overb core technology and the very durable and versatile Tournament Special Edition cover stock. The Euphoric TSE is polished with a radius of gyration of 2.55 and a differential of 0.055, creating 4 to 5 inches of flare potential. This is the 4th addition to the TSE line. This cover stock is proven to provide predictable ball motion characteristics while minimizing loss of reaction due to oil absorption, translating to higher strike percentages for longer periods. By adding this cover stock to the very successful Overb core featured in the Euphoric, we've created the combination of control of a symmetric core along with the strong continuation of the TSE cover. In a side-by-side comparison, you'll see the original Euphoric begin to start its transition to the hook phase earlier than its TSE counterpart. The TSE conserves its energy through the front and mid part of the lane, then releases its power at the breakpoint and all the way through the pins. The Euphoric TSE is the perfect benchmark ball for your typical league condition. Build your arsenal on this great ball. Control, consistency, continuation. Seismic bowling. Simply devastating.